Got a question on TikTok asking about how can a landlord prevent a tenant from turning into a squatter? Is there like some type of template for that? Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Boy on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, at least in California, by definition, a tenant that has established a landlord-tenant relationship with a landlord generally can't be a squatter, okay? A squatter is usually someone that has no relationship to the owner, has trespassed onto the property, or like broken into a property, okay, by definition. A lot of times I see landlords interchange the word squatter with a tenant. For example, like they don't pay their rent, or you give them like a 30 or 60 day lawful notice of termination of tenancy, they don't move out, that type of deal. The technical term in California is once a tenancy has been terminated for cause or no fault, cause or no cause at all, like a 60-day notice type deal, it's called like a tenancy at sufferance, okay? AKA the tenant is unlawfully detaining the property or holding over on a property after they've been given their, hey, you got to pay your rent, you got to leave. If you don't do what the notice says, you're unlawfully detaining the property. That's why they call it unlawful detainer, an eviction, an unlawful detainer. Okay, so side note there. So what I think, if you actually have a tenant landlord that is not doing what they're supposed to do, the quickest and best way of handling that is to file the eviction or unlawful detainer after, making sure your notice is right and checking with counsel if you don't know all the rules, that type of stuff. Okay, that's usually where I see landlords go wrong. They wait too long. I've been talking with a lot of landlords recently. I had one say, hey, my tenant hasn't paid me rent for like a year, and I go like, why did you wait? Well, I'm just busy. Okay, well, you got more money than I do, man, because I couldn't have someone not pay a rent for a year. A year's quite a long time. So I think that's probably the biggest issue, is probably getting help or at least addressing the problematic behavior. Okay, so for this particular YouTubers or TikTokers question, it's probably, more information is going to be needed sitting down with someone and figuring out, okay, like what is actually going on? Can we give a notice, like a 3-day notice? Can we give some type of notice to stop that behavior? Because a tenant generally cannot be a squatter because there's a landlord-tenant relationship already. So folks, landlords, if you're going through a situation where your tenant's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, so they don't end up being a squatter, quote unquote, and you're in the Northern California area, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.